Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Skyliner. We're making our way over to the Riviera today because I want to talk to you about whether or not the Riviera has grown on me since our first visit and our first stay. This is actually a topic that one of you brought up in the comments, and I thought this is actually the perfect time to talk about this too because we have a stay at the Riviera coming up, and of course we're gonna take you along. So yeah, let's make our way over and chat. Well, after what was a very small number of delays by comparison, we've made it to Disney's Riviera Resort. Welcome. Welcome to the Riviera. I'd like to find a quiet place where we can kind of sit down and chat, and I think I know just the spot. If we go to the other side of the pool, like the other side of the splash pad, there's a little beach there we can go hang out at. So let's make our way over. All right, we're just about there. Got the splash pad right there, and just beyond that's the pool. And if we keep moving this direction, you'll see, of course, Caribbean Beach and the beach. That's where we're headed. All right, got myself a nice comfy chair. There are a few along the beach, and sadly, yes, I am wearing my Chucks, so my toes can't really enjoy this silky white sand, but we've got a pretty view. Okay, so it should probably come as no surprise to any of you who are hanging out with me right now that I have some strong feelings about Disney's Riviera Resort. I've talked about this at length. For those of you who have been part of these discussions in the past, rest assured, I'm not here to beat a dead horse, okay? But for those of you who haven't, my heavy criticisms of Disney's Riviera, why I have such strong opinions about this resort, is tied to some foundational things about this property. Now those things, those characteristics of Disney's Riviera Resort, they're not going to change. And even though I spend a lot of time here, and I do because it's right off the Skyliner, they got some great food, we'll get to that in a second. I also really love Caribbean Beach, which is right here as well. Time isn't changing the size of the hallways for me. It's not changing the fact that this was an affordable, moderate property at one time before it became a premium product that is DVC. It's not changing the quality of things. It's not changing any of that. You know what I mean? And so when we talk about whether or not the Riviera has grown on me, no, or at very least, my harshest criticisms of this resort haven't softened any. Because like I said, my harsh criticisms are based on fundamental things here at the resort that aren't so easily changed. Now, that having been said, just because I have some strong feelings about a place like the Riviera, especially on a fundamental level, when we talk about things like location, quality, and just amenities like not standing out above the rest, that doesn't mean that I can't see the good in that place. I mean, I wouldn't be very good at what I do if I allow those things to overshadow everything, you know? I think it's better to comment on them and make sure that I'm clear about my position on that, especially when it's relevant, but also talk about how I feel about other things independently. And I have said some really great things about Riviera, despite all of my opinions, my strong opinions even. I think that it has one of the best quick service locations on property. I mean, like, above everything else, let alone Disney Vacation Club properties, let alone Walt Disney World Resort hotels. They have some fantastic menu options. And of course, because it is on the same plot of land as Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, it's like just a short walk to all of the fantastic dining options over there as well. Sebastian's Bistro is a table service over there that's fantastic. They also have the Banana Cabana, which I don't have any opinions on Banana Cabana at this time because I haven't been able to give it a shot. Nonetheless, you kind of get two resorts for the price of one over here, and I totally get the appeal of that. Same could be said for Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. You have basically Bar Riva and Primo Piatto right here as well, and there's Topolino's Terrace. I haven't tried that yet. People talk really highly of that. It's on our list of places to eat. We just haven't made our way over, and I don't think we're going to for this upcoming stay either, but we'll have to see. During our last stay, we also did the Tower Studio, and I think that that had some of the best fireworks views that you could get. Of course, at the time, I hadn't stayed at the Contemporary or Bay Lake Tower, and it's not the same. Like, Magic Kingdom is a different thing, but if you want to see Epcot fireworks right from your room, I mean, you can't go wrong staying in a Tower Studio, though Tower Studios are definitely not for everybody. And of course, there are other things that we could talk about as well. You know, when I did that welcome home update thing. I got the chance to go see one of their grand villas. They're absolutely gorgeous in there. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other rooms have to offer, because I wasn't impressed with the tower studio. But you know, we have to experience it. We have to give it a try so that we can get a sense of what is available in terms of other room options at this resort. And we'll share our thoughts with you, of course, once we've done that. But the good things about Riviera are definitely good things about Riviera. But the not great things are also not great. And I know that it might be kind of crazy to say, but I think that both of those things can exist in the same space. I think that we can talk about the positive and talk about the negative. But getting back to your question, actually, we'll discuss as we make our way back to the Skyliner, because I think we might head to Hollywood Studios. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't really think it's fair to say that the Riviera has grown on me, because it hasn't. I feel the same way about the Riviera now as I did the first time that I experienced the property. That said, the more things I experience at the Riviera, the more things there are for me to like, because they do what they do as well as they do it, which is good. But at least in my opinion, none of that has outshadowed some of my criticisms. Again, things like the size of the hallways, things like the location of the resort being right on Caribbean Beach's property. It's not something I would say I'm hung up on, but it's not something that will change the more I'm here. You know what I mean? Now, as an additional little side note, I totally get why people like the Riviera. Like, it makes perfect sense to me why they like this resort and why people go to bat for this resort nonstop, because it is a nice resort, especially because it is new. And it's certainly newer than any of the other properties that are along the Skyliner route. So it would almost be silly to not like this for what it is, at least on the surface level. For me, I'm looking a little bit more into it than that. I'm taking a lot of things into consideration, and that's where my harsh opinions come from. But let's also not kid ourselves here, right? Like, I know that I'm a Disney Vacation Club member, a long-time Disney Vacation Club member. I also have a lot to stack the Riviera up against, because I've stayed at almost every Disney Vacation Club property at this point, which gives me something to compare the Riviera against that a lot of people don't necessarily have, certainly not in the same way. So that probably plays a role in where I'm coming from as well. As to does my goal here, which is to give you all of the information that I think you want and need to know. I know we've been talking about this a lot, but it's still my goal. Even though I've said it a couple times in the past week, still my goal today. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope that this answered your question though. You know, has the Riviera grown on me? Not really. Do I see the good? Yes. Do I see the bad? Still, yes. Do I think that the good things outweigh the negative things? Sometimes. I mean, for some people, they might. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who will tell you that they are owners at the Riviera and that they love it, and they'll tell you all of the reasons why they love it. And I think that that's great. You know, every family is different. Everyone's wants and needs are going to be different. For me, looking from the perspective that I'm coming from and taking into consideration things like mobility. This is another thing that's like always on the top of our minds, because we regularly travel with someone who has mobility issues and needs mobility devices. Like, these are the things that have me feeling the way that I do. So that said, I'm really looking forward to our next stay at Disney's Riviera. I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, but I'm hoping that we get what is going to be a room that shows me why you guys love it so much. The room that we had at the Tower Studio, not size-wise, because I knew what I was getting into there, but the room was just such poor quality, and it was like something you would have expected out of a cheap hotel. So, I mean, those are my thoughts on that. We'll see if Riviera will shine after this next stay, though. Make sure that you stay tuned for that. Of course, as per usual, let me know your thoughts, what you love about the Riviera, what you don't love about the Riviera. Pop it in the comments down below. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. We're almost at Hollywood Studios, so that might be where we wander into next. You're just gonna have to stay tuned and find out. But for now, I'm gonna wrap things up. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and riding on the Skyliner. Knock on wood. We barely even stopped on this return flight, though there is still time. I shouldn't have said that. I knocked on wood though. Anyway, see you guys next time. Bye.